the data types. We'll try to insert some values and do some alteration today in today's class. Okay, before going to do anything, we will learn about the data types. So any languages, if you are going to use it, it is going to have the data types, right? How you are going to write your language so that computer will understand, and the particular programming language will have that norms and the syntaxes to instruct your MySQL server or your any language like Python or Java, how your code will look like. Okay, what are the variables you will are going to add? Here in this case, it is going to be attributes and what type it is. Okay, based on that, the size will be allocated in the memory. Okay, so the types, basic types, same like in other programming languages. It is having numeric type, date and time, and the string types. Okay, three types it is having: numeric, date and time, and string type. So numeric types we know it, like integers and big int. Actually here there is tiny int. There are other types also like tiny int. Yesterday for integer we gave int as the type, right? Likewise we can also have tiny int, uh, small int, medium int, and big int. So it all differs from the size as sizes. So tiny int, it is taking the same like character. Character is like character but not a numeric value. Numeric value I understand, no, it is like 1 2 3 4 5, the numbers, whereas a character is a character itself, a b c. Likewise, so same size as a character tiny int can take. So when you think that your integer values, if for id it is going to take only one number or two numbers, okay. Then if in this value range starting from 128 to 127 range, you can give the space. Okay, 1 byte it will allocate. 1 byte means it can take the value from negative 128 to positive 127. It means only if you are going to restrict your ID number between minus 128 value to 127. Anyway, ID we will not give it in negative. Say 0 from 1 or 1 from or 1 to 127, then you can think of giving it as a tiny integer. You can declare the variable integer id as a tiny integer. Okay, here we will not say variable, we'll say field or attribute. And the small int takes 2 bytes, medium int likewise takes 3 bytes, integer will take 4 bytes. So this we know it. In any programming languages normally integer will be of 4 bytes only. Okay, and big int will take 8 bytes. It is like a double value. Okay, but it is not with the decimal points. Decimal will be given in a different way. Okay, in MySQL that we will see. So this is some one of the example, like we create a table and we can also say what are the fields we have to have for the table, the column fields we have to give for the table. Later on, if we can add multiple fields to the table, yes, it is possible. During creation you can give the number of fields, or you can also alter the table and give the columns separately. It is also possible. Okay, and any SQL language it is possible. Okay, it will have the option to alter your table. Mm, the integer types are differ in their storage. We can choose values that fit our requirements. So that's what I told. Okay, while you're inserting, insert into table. Okay, this is the table name and the values you have to give pass. Yesterday we also passed the fields here. It is not necessary that we have to pass the fields. You can directly give the values. I will show an example in this also. Okay, so insert into values. See they are giving 43, that is 43 is the age. Okay, here if you see ages table, 43 is the age they gave it as one tiny int. So tiny int will take the range from minus 128 value to 127 values. This is actual values. Okay, but when you are trying to give 128, then it is throwing error. Okay, because the end value can be only 127. So out of range error also it will give. So how we can find it? Anyway, like the programming languages which you work, whenever you compile it, it will throw the errors, right? Likewise, when you finish it with any statement, these are all statements we can say, or commands we can say. When you finish this commands with a semicolon and enter a hit, it will execute. If any error is there, it will throw it likewise. Okay, by reading that you can understand that what error it is. Yes. Float we can give it likewise. There is a way. See this way. We can give a precision for the float. See float you can give, and for if it is a decimal value, if you wanted to present in that, you can give a preci. It is a data type itself. A float is a data type. Float is a separate data type for the integer values only, that it is not mentioned in that. Float is also a data type. Decimals also you can give it. For the float values, if you want to give it in decimal, we will come to this little further. Okay. The float is also a data type. Floating values also you can give. Okay. For the more unsigned integers, signed, unsigned, you understand. No, signed means negative or negative integers. We call it as a signed. Okay. Signed integers, positive values we call it as unsigned. If there is sign, if any negative value is there, like -1 or -10, then we call that value as a signed integer or signed value. Okay, so unsigned value means positive integers. Positive integers means it takes a value from 0 to minimum value will be 0, right? 0 to 255. In tiny int, it will take the maximum value of 255 as the value. Okay, from 0 to 255. What does it mean is it is going to take 1 byte, right? Minus if it is negative 128 to 127. See, if you count this, it will become 255. Okay, because total number is 255 in between this. So 0 to 255, I'm saying. It is not going to take negative value. So 0 to 255 it will take. Okay, when it is unsigned values. Same like small int, medium int. Actually, this will be a way to give an. Now we can insert 0 to 255. Okay. Unsigned integer means we also have to press mention it in your while you're creating the table or giving the value for the field. While you are giving the value for the date for the field, when you are giving the data type for the field, the data type is tiny int, and if you mention it as unsigned, then only it will take from 0 to 255. Otherwise, it will not take, because here we have not mentioned, no, for age tiny int we have not mentioned whether it is signed or unsigned. If you don't mention anything, then by default in any programming language it will understand it as signed value. Okay, in Java also there is a way to give unsigned values. Unsigned means we are instructing the variable or the column name will only take positive values, not negative values. That's what unsigned is. Okay, here if you want to mention in MySQL, then you have to mention it as unsigned value, then it will take only positive. See, age cannot be negative, right? It will not make any sense if you have age as a negative value. Likewise, you can mention it. Okay, because someone will not accidentally enter some negative numbers into your database for that reason. Okay, MySQL uses 4 bytes, the same like integer. It takes 4 bytes to store a floating number, and double is another data type to store a double precision. Okay, a floating number. Double precision is 2 digits it will take, and MySQL uses 8 bytes to store the double. So double, like other programming language like in Java, it takes 8 bytes. Okay, if you wanted to mention the decimal numbers also, that you can do it. Okay, how it will be like this. In decimal number, m is the maximum number of digits, the precision. Okay, and the d is the number of digits to the right after the decimal points. So this m is the value which you can have it here. Okay, after before the dot point, and whatever you are giving in the decimal point, right, that is going to be the number of digits after your decimal. Okay, that is also possible. You can also give decimal numbers likewise. Float is also a decimal number, but it follows a precision like 1. Okay, here if you see this table, the example table, create a table numbers. Okay, id is tiny int, float data type you can use, and decimals if you wanted to give, you can give the decimal likewise. It means you can predefine your decimal how it has to look like. Okay, so inserting the values into it and select star. Okay, this is the statement which will help you to list the values inside your table, whatever the table is there. Okay, don't worry, we will see it. I'll finish this theory part, then we will see it. Okay. How many data types means all other is whatever is we are using, no? String is there, numeric types we have seen, float decimal is there, and something else was shown. Yeah, numeric, that's date and time. Okay, these are the data types which is there. Date and time, we will see it. Okay, I'll finish this first. MySQL has a data types for the date and time. Okay, to if you give a date, it will take your data as in the form of a date itself. Okay, like 2022, today's date is 9, month is 9, and the year is 7. Likewise, it will take. And the time you can specify, you can get the time also, you can specify the time also. Okay, see here, MySQL has another data type which is for storing dates and time. Okay, these are the types it is having. The timestamp also it will give. MySQL tries to interrupt the date and time in several formats, but the date paths must always be given in year, month, and day format. This order you should remember it. Okay, whenever you are trying to insert your date, okay, it has to be in year, month, and day format. Okay, automatically converts a date or a time to a number if the value is used in a numeric context. What they are saying is it is directly it will take the value of the date and give it as a number that we will see in example. Okay, the date is used to store dates, and MySQL retrieves and displays the date values in this format. Okay, YY, a month and a date. The supported range is from here this one to this one. Okay, between this one, like from the year 1000 to year 10,000, it is having, it is allowing the range. Okay, after that, once we reach the year 1999, they will change MySQL or whatever is there that time. Okay, so this, the date time format how you can give is like year, complete year, month in 2 digits, and date in 2 digits. Okay, if you want to find the current date, you can use this command, select current date. Okay, that it will show the current date. Okay,